If we continue up the trail, it looks like this. And then an incline begins. I realized at this point I'm not going to be able to film very much down in the bottom of this valley. So I shift myself over to a side road on the right and begin walking up that road to get a better perspective of the valley below. Now we have ascended about a mile up the valley, and if we turn around and look back, we start to get a sense of the gradual ascent to the road. In this view, as we look west towards Tel Aviv, we can begin to see two valleys side by side. Highway number 1 runs on the right, and you can see that as Highway 1 exits the hill country, over there would be Latrun standing guard at the entrance of the valley. Meanwhile, the Burma Road is being built in this valley here on the left, our valley. Let's continue with the narration because steeper inclines are coming soon. You can hear me trying to catch my breath as I narrate.
Your first clue is the modern road, which is built alongside the canyon today. The modern road, of course, is built with heavy machinery, and that wasn't available back in 1948. But you can see that the slope here is fairly slight. Now let's go over and look at the actual valley where the road was built. Here we are peering down into the Burma Valley, and you can see the slope really isn't so great.
And now even our modern road that is already climbing begins its steepest ascent in this part of the valley. Here is a close-up of this part of the road.
This valley gets very difficult once you get up into this part of it. So we've hiked about 20-25 minutes up from the road, and take a look. Let's zoom in, see if you can get a sense of this. So effectively, this valley acts like a box canyon. No way out. Now, while someone could scramble up the slope here, it was not possible for large equipment to get up a slope so steep. And indeed, what was needed for the Israelis was a road to Jerusalem that could carry supplies. And besides that, you really needed to be able to bring up armored equipment and protection, as well as all manner of goods. So it really needed to be a quality road. So the trick in this whole endeavor was how to get up to the ridge. Once you get up to that ridge, you are fairly flat for the rest of the way, and you could actually join in on Highway 1 a mile or so up the road. But the point is, you've got to get out of this box canyon. So what was the solution? The solution was a switchback. But they had no equipment to build one. They had shovels. They had people. So in the middle of the night, people began to try to build a switchback such that equipment could make the turn and turn up. And this is the switchback. Do you see it against the side of the hill? You can, let me zoom in here, go to the end of this box canyon. Can you make out a subtle slope there? There's still the remains of part of that switchback back from 1948. It was very rough, it was makeshift, but it got the job done.
All right, well, there is one more thing to point out here, and that is the second switchback. As you head up in this slope, if you look about here, you can see a turn and a movement now over to the right where it continues on up the slope. And I found in editing, I didn't notice it when I was there, but in editing I noticed a third switchback right here that takes would have taken the vehicles on up to the top of the slope. Why did they traverse the slope there? Because they didn't want to be seen from Latrun.
There's only one advantage they had in that day, and that was there were hardly any trees. So they just had to deal with the rocks. Notice that there's a place along the switchback where it's actually caved in since, and yeah, that road would no longer be usable today. But see, that slope is gentle enough that doubling back, they would have a chance to get equipment up there.